complexity rating of 2.01 to 2.5 on Board Game Geek. We did keep this at least 50 votes or 50 ratings. We thought that was a good number. I had a total of 29 games that I've played on the tabletop in this range.
I don't know.
Well, how many did you rank?
17.
So 17. So we have a good list. So as always, we're going to start with our honorable mentions. You want to start with yours?
Start
Okay.
with
What are your?
mine.
Remember, our honorable mentions are always in alphabetical order. So this is going to be Stacey's 6 through 10 in alphabetical order, and my 11 through 15 in alphabetical order.
And my first honorable mention is Azul Stained Glass of Sintra.
Okay. Got an Azul game on there. Not surprising.
I'm so sorry in advance. I'm gonna apologize. I've got the coughs this week.
Yeah, we've had some stuff going through the house lately, so
all two of us in the house.
Yeah, there's two of us, and it just
ran rampant.
Yeah, but okay,
so this
Azul,
is my
stained glass of
honorable
Sintra.
mention.
Okay, what's next?
Where did I put it? Oh, it's hidden back here.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It was falling off. It was showing on the camera.
My next one is Disney Villainous.
Interesting.
I know.
I'm surprised that made it into your honorable mentions, honestly.
Well, compared.
We might need to get it to the table again, maybe. Yeah. And see. I don't know.
This is in my high range, so a lot of these games aren't like that are on my list. Aren't games that I would say, "Hey, let's go play."
But it is in your.
But I did after we played this a couple times.
Yeah.
And the first time I didn't care for it. The second time, I got used to it.
We haven't had it at the table for some time.
No,
now,
it's been a while, but I remember from playing it that I was coming around to it.
Okay.
So that's that one.
I mean, I know what was on your list that you were ranking. And
yes.
I'm actually surprised that did make into your honorable mentions. Good. Yeah. What's next?
My next one is, I think it's a Stonemaier game.
It is.
How do you know? You don't even know what my list is. How do you know it's
because
a
I'm
Stonemaier
assuming
game?
It's that one.
It's My Little Scythe. I do enjoy this game. There's a lot going on for me, but I do enjoy a good pie throw every once in a while. So I did put this in my honorable mentions for My Little Scythe from Stonemaier.
Nice. I have to add that one to our. Well, I guess we don't have to because we have access. That is one that we don't own that we have access to through the board game club at school that I won. Okay, what are your last two honorable mentions?
My last two. This one is a game. I don't even know where we got this game.
We've had this one for a while.
But I like it. But it's just kind of one of those games that Tantrix, where you have all these different shapes. You have to match them up. It goes pretty quick once you get going.
Yeah, you have to match the circle. Another one that has not hit the table for some time. There was several in this grouping that have not hit this table for some time.
Yeah.
Another one I'm a little surprised. Huh.
For reals?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, just because I know what my top
some of these games I
thought,
just did not like.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Well, they're not getting in there. Kick them out. And then my last honorable mention is my least favorite.
Really? Wow.
Well, it's not my least favorite. It's in the top of my least favorites of Ticket to Rides. And I love Ticket to Ride games. So with it in my honorable mention tells you a lot. But with Ticket to Ride Reels and Sales, for those of you who really enjoy it, for me, I have little hands. And you have all these boat cards and all of these train cards. And you got to keep track of all this other stuff.
The two different things going on.
Yeah, it gets in the train card. You have to have the little symbol in order to play it for this or that. So it gets a little overwhelming for me. But Ticket to Ride, Reels and Sales is last of my honorable mention.
I'm going to be very interested to see what your top 5 are, because I'm not sure I saw a couple of those coming even in your honorable mentions. So I'm really interested. I think I know what our top 2 are, because I think that was pretty easy.
Probably.
Because they're probably going to be pretty high on my list as well. My honorable mentions first is I love my rolling rights and stuff. This is one that I learned on Board Game Arena, loved it right away, and bought it. And I played this one only solo. This is Draft and Write Records. Really fun drafting and writing game where you're trying to build a band. Love this game. It's a lot of fun. I actually have a game going on BGG or on BGA right now of this with a much bigger name content creator, but I'm not gonna name drop it.
Play that game.
Yeah, we can play that.
Is it hard?
No,
Okay.
no. And then another one is brand new to us recently. We just did this. But I really like this game so far. That is Fossilis by KTBG. We only got it to the table once last weekend. It wasn't going to be a weeknight game. Hopefully, we can get it to the table this weekend again. But I really enjoyed playing this one the first time I played it, and so this one did make my top. It did make my honorable mentions. And then another one that has not been the table for me for a while that I only play solo, but I do enjoy this game and I do need to get it to the table again. It is on my 24 for 24 challenge, so it will be on the wall probably at the end of the year if I don't get it to the table before that. And that is the Guild of Merchant Explorers. It's almost like a roll and write. When it first came out, a lot of people described it kind of as a roll and write that wasn't a roll and write because it feels very much like a flip and write where you're flipping cards and then but you have cubes you're placing down to make tracks and stuff. Really like this one. I got to get this to the table again because I do really enjoy this one. And then my not my last one. This next one I will say, with expansions, would be in my top 10. It actually fell out of my top 10. A little surprising, but which was surprising actually, and that's Role Player. I do really enjoy this game. I was actually kind of surprised it fell out of my top 10. But it did. I think with the expansions, I think it would definitely be in there. But I was ranking these strictly based on the base game. I said I was a little surprised it did not make my top 10. But yeah, Role Player. And then my last one is one Stacey just mentioned as well, and this is Ticket to Ride Rails and Sales.
It's a big box.
It is. It is a big box. I do enjoy this game. But like Stacey said, it is a lot. It's a lot more going on than in any other ticket to ride. We do own a lot of the ticket to rides, and they used to get to the table a lot more before we got really deep into the modern hobby and stuff. But they come out every so often, and I really like this version of the boats and the trains. So that is my honorable mentions. So we had a crossover on the honorable mentions already. Moving on to my number 10. So as always, when we do these, I do 10. Stacey does 5 because as the mid complexity gamer, and someone who's solo games, I have a lot more things out there that I've played. And as the non-gamer gamer, we want just those games that's really those ones ranked that Stacey really likes because those are the ones that she feels would go to your friends or family that maybe aren't gamers as much. This is also the part where this will probably be the last one of these Stacey's in. The 2.5, 1 to 3, I'll probably just do a top 10 because this is about the top of Stacey's comfort level games. We were looking at the other games. There's a couple she's played in the next range, but not very many. And this is also where a lot of my solo only stuff comes in. So you're going to see a lot of my solo things, but there's a lot of multiplayer stuff here. And the first one, which actually snuck in, had we done this a week ago when it was originally going to be planned before we had to push one off a couple weeks ago because of sicknesses and things. This has just recently been added to BGA, and I'm in the middle of a game with this with a couple other content creators as well. And I forgot how much I like this game, so this one kind of snuck in. Small World. Small World, you are playing. You have an ability and a faction or a what do they call it? I can't even think of it. A race and a special power, and they're combined, and you are trying to take over this map. I forgot how much we have not played it for quite some time, and it's recently been added to BGA. It's a game I may take into my board game club just to be able to play with me, but maybe we'll get to the table again here. And it did. It's just snuck into my top 10, and I think it is because I'm playing it right now. I'm in the middle of a game right now on BGA. A turn-based game of this, and I remembered how much I do enjoy playing this game. Like I said, had we done this list a week ago, had things not gotten pushed back the last couple weeks, it probably not would have not been in my top 10. I'm not even sure it would have been an honorable mention. But playing it right now, it kind of snuck back in there. So that was Small World. The next one is another one that has not hit our table for some time. And it is another one where we have all the collection, but I've played it on BGA quite a bit since it was added recently. So a couple of these have some very BGA influence to them, but they are ones that we own. And that is Azul Summer Pavilion. The more I'm playing this on BGA, I think we need to get this at the table again because I think you'll like this one more than... This one's more forgiving than the original Azul because you can reserve things. I'm really liking this. This one, when we do our Azul list and we play through all of our Azul games, this one may move up to my number one.
Probably my number two favorite one.
Yeah, so this one may move up to number one.
I like that one
We
better
will-
than the Gardens one.
Yeah, Queen's Garden, too much going on there. My number 8 is another game from a company I've already shown one from, another from the same world of Ulos. Kind of surprised this one jumped ahead of Role Player, but that is Lockup. Oh, that's really heavy right now. Thunderworks did just send me recently the breakout expansion for this, so that is in here. I forgot that was in here, and it is quite a heavy box now. I really like this game. I do play this only solo, but I like the unknown as you're playing and you're trying to get out of the jail, and you're trying to get different things from the jail. I haven't played it for a while, but I like the unknown in the solo of, okay, what guard is where, and how many points do I need to get down to get this area, and what do I need to get. So really like this game. I'm looking forward to getting it to the table. It will be to the table before the end of the year as well. Another one that's on my 24 for 24 challenge that I need to get to the table. And
It's a 24 by 24 challenge.
that's the one where I chose 24 games to play all the multiples of 24. And I did 3 different challenges, and I was doing really good up until the school year hit. So I gotta get on that. We'll see if I clear those off. This is one that I've not played yet this year, so I do need to get it to the table. And I'm looking forward to getting the expansion to it as well. That was my number 8. My number 7 comes to me from my favorite, well, one of my top solo gaming companies, and that is Stonemaier Games, and that is Libertalia Winds of Galecrest. This is one I do play only solo as well. This 6 through 10 has a lot of solo only games. Actually, 3. Well, actually, no, I guess only 2. There's a lot of multiplayer. Actually, now that I'm looking, there's only 4 of my top 10 that actually I only play solo, which is kind of surprising because this is that kind of range. So, Libertalia Winds of Galecrest. I do play this one only solo. You're pirates, and I really like the you play your pirate out and you place them in order of their value, and then you go left or right for 1 power during the day, I think it is, and then during the night you go the back way, and you have to get these tokens, and you're scoring a lot of different ways. I really like this game. I have the expansion in here as well that I need to get to the table. Another one that's on my 24 for 24 challenge that I need to get to the table. A lot of these I think are going to be on my wall in December. So
What's your theme in December going to be?
I think you can kind of figure it out. But yeah, so that's Libertalia Winds of Galecrest. And coming in at number 6 is one Stacey has already mentioned in her honorable mentions. And it is one that also comes to us from Stonemaier Games, and that is My Little Scythe. They said this is not one that we own. We get to this. This is part of my board game club, and I really enjoyed it the first time Stacey and I played. The solo was good. I wasn't crazy about the solo. What really did this for me was last year, I guess earlier this year on Global Play Day, I played this. I set this game up to play with kids, and I played it with each one of the blocks that I teach. And I played a 4-player game, a 5-player game, and a 6-player game. And every one of those games was completely different. The one game, all we were doing was pie fights. Like everybody was just pie fights. The 5-player game was just kind of chill. Everybody was just doing their own thing for the most part. And then the 6-player game had one of the best finishes I've ever had in a game, where to trigger the end game, someone has to get 4 trophies. The 4th person in play order triggered it, and then everybody got one more turn. 4 of us ended up getting all of our trophies, and the last person to win also ended up getting the tiebreaker. So it was just a great end. So in this game, you're moving around this map. You're trying to do 8 different things. Well, 4 of the 8 different things, whether it's get enough reputation, get enough pies, get enough apples or gems delivered to the castle, win a pie fight, get upgrades, or I think there's one other one that I'm missing and I can't remember what. And it's just a lot of fun. I really like this. I cannot wait to get this to the table again. I cannot wait to teach more kids during board game club and get a group together. Even though we will probably not finish a game during board game club because it's only like an hour and 15 minutes. We might be able to do with like 4 people, but I really like this game. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised this one moved up that high. But it was those games that I played on Global Playday with 3 different groups of kids. Most of them weren't in my board game club at all. They just sat down to play with me, and it was a lot of fun. So I really enjoy my little scythe. And that brings us to our top 5. So start us off with your number 5.
Alrighty then. My number 5 is going to surprise you. But at this point, it's like, which of the games do I dislike the least? No, I'm just kidding. I like most of these games. I enjoy playing most of these games. Can you move that out of
Yeah.
my way? So at my number 5, ugh, Big Boxing is not a weeknight game in my opinion, so none of these are weeknight games for the most part. But my number 5 is Flamecraft. Flamecraft, I don't describe games very well. So I'm just going to talk about why one of the main reasons why I like this game is because the cards and the art history is so darn adorable. Each little dinosaur has his little theme.
Dragon.
Or dragon. I'm so sorry. Flame dragon or
Dragon.
dragon. Um and for me as a non-gamer, I do enjoy this game. However, it gets a little overwhelming when you start to get up both sides of the board, because you start getting a lot going on.
Yeah.
Um, one card can trigger another action on another card, which can trigger an action on another card, and then I just tend to lose track of what part of my turn I'm on, and it gets a little confusing. But it is a fun game when I have to slow down, I have to thoroughly read everything, make sure that I'm doing my turn correctly. But the cards are so darn cute on this. Highly recommend it for those people who are patient enough to sit with your non-gamer gamer and help them along the first time or two to play it. It's a cute game.
Yeah, I do like that one. That one just so we did our list the other day, and then when I was looking at it, I realized because I put the list together through BGG and I said games we own, it had left a couple of games off of the rankings. Um, Flamecrest was in my honorable mentions, and then when I realized there was 2 games that fell off because we own the deluxe version of one that I know is going to be mentioned later, um, and my little scythe, which we don't own, Flamecraft just fell off my honorable mentions. It was on there, and then when I realized there was 2 other games, I'm like, yeah. So that one just barely fell off. So
it's cute.
It is. It is a fun game. It is. There is a lot, especially when you do start getting the top and bottom and trying to figure out what you're doing. But it's a fun game. It's a keeper. Yeah. All right, my number 5. My number 5 is a game all about visiting national parks. Ooh. And that is Parks. In Parks, you are going over 3 days, where you are going on a single track, one-way track, and you're trying to collect resources and visit parks and do some different things, take pictures, get different gear to help you. We do have both expansions for this, but even just the base game, which is what I rated this on, I really like this game. I love the artwork in this game. We love camping. Haven't done a lot of it in recent years, but we do love camping. We love the national parks, so this is a great game. It's a pretty chill game too, with just the base game. Single track, with 2 people, you're not blocking too much, which we like. But yeah, Parks is my number 5. And I have a feeling that's not going to be the last time we hear of that this evening.
Do you want me to do my number 4?
Yeah.
My number 4, we just got done.
Kind of saw that one.
Looking at my list.
No, I wasn't, but I just figured it was going to be on you. I think I know what your top ones are.
Okay. But
although yeah. Flamecraft surprised me.
Yeah, I knew
Flamecraft surprised me. Flamecraft surprised me.
Knew it would. But my number 4 game this evening is Parks. Not just because there's a Yellowstone card and a Glacier National Park card, which are my hometown parks, I'll call it. But I like to if the design of the game and the design of the cards and the drawings and the artistry doesn't isn't nice and it doesn't appeal to me, but with this one, I really like the base game. The expansions aren't my favorite.
Wildlife,
I like the
you,
buffalo.
you didn't mind wildlife. The
Which one's wildlife?
with the
With
buffalo,
the
it just
buffalo.
added some extra cards. The nightfall with the camp with the tents and
Yeah.
stuff was a little much for
It's a
you.
little much, but I do enjoy the base game.
Careful, you're shaking.
Oops, I'm sorry.
You're
I
shaking
tend to do that a
shaking the
lot.
table with your
I'm
elbows.
a,
The
I'm
camera's bouncing.
um, yeah. So, parks. Ian's already talked about it, so I won't go into detail about it. But that was my number 4.
Right. My number 4 is one that we learned earlier this year.
Oh.
Oh God, how big this is. Remotely. Is Let's Go to Japan. Let's Go to Japan is a set collection closed drafting game where you are trying to plan your trip to Japan over 6 days. With the expansion, you can do all 7 days. Um, and you are trying to do different activities on certain days. I like that that part is random every time. You are trying to go between Kyoto and Tokyo without going back and forth too much. When you take cards, you use one of them, you put the other ones in your opponent pile, which I really like. I really like that aspect of the drafting, because you're drafting something, but then you're giving something to someone else. So you're trying to figure out, what do I want, what do I want them to get, or what do I not want them to get. um Really fun game. Really enjoy this one. Maybe we'll do a live play of this sometime.
Ooh.
Once we start doing some live plays, we can do one on the weekend or
I
something.
hate that game. No, I'm not. I don't want to do a play.
But Let's Go to Japan, my number 4.
Okay. My number 3 is a game that I enjoy, not only because it has animals in it. You'll see a rolling theme with me in a lot of my games. Is not only because it has animals, but it also reminds me a lot of my mom.
Oh,
And that's Calico. My mom makes beautiful quilts. And I'm sure that if we had a cat, the cat would love to lay on the quilt. So,
well, our dog does, so
yeah,
you know.
and he's over here whining for attention right now. So,
We're gonna try and speed this up. So
yes, he's being quite the attention hound this evening. But Calico, you try to lay down the prettiest quilt to attract cats, different kinds of cats. Um, like different kinds of quilts, apparently. So, um, it's a tile laying game. That I actually, this is one of my first tile laying games, I think.
Probably, yeah. This is one of our earlier ones.
But I really enjoy this game. I think any non-gamer, it's easy to learn. It's easy to put out for the table.
Yeah,
for
it is really quick setup.
Setup. Thank you, and it's pretty easy to take down as well. So,
And there's a family-friendly variant that I do teach with my kids at Board Game Club, where normally you have these 3 tiles that have like scoring on them, or like, oh, you need to get a certain number of certain number of the design or the color around on your quilt. You can flip those over and just completely ignore them and not play with those. And I do that at my board game club, because for my board game club, I want the games to be very accessible. I don't want them to have to think about, oh, what am I trying to do? So when we play it at board game club, we just play it with, you're trying to get your cats on there, and you're trying to get the buttons, and it makes it very accessible. You don't have to worry about that extra little scoring, which is my whole goal with my board game club. So, yeah, that's Calico. Well, I did the knitting circle game is on Kickstarter right now, which adds a new layer to this and stuff, and it has an expansion. So I did back that, which also will give us a new way to play Calico with the drafting of the tiles. It gives you the rundown. So that'll be
expansion in this?
No, it's not expansion, but it comes with an expansion for the game, and it comes with an expansion for Calico that allows you to play Calico a different way. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Okay. I do enjoy Calico. Truth be told, I like Cascadia much better, and I think that's why Calico kind of fell down my list, is because I always compare it to Cascadia.
Calico gives me that need to have a cat, because you can't have a cat.
I'm allergic to them. So yeah, we
Wah,
can't have a
wah,
cat.
wah.
So I do enjoy Calico. But yeah, my no, what am I on? Number three. My number three is a solo only game, and it is one I learned this summer. I think it was. It is a tile laying game with some three-dimensional world wonders. That is World
Oh.
Wonders. I really like this game. The first time I played it, um, and I played it several times. It's a tile laying game, but then you're also trying to make these world wonders. And I like the market part of it, where you only have 7 coins to spend each round. When you want to get a wonder, you have to spend whatever you have left. But you also want to try and not you don't want to wait too long because you don't want someone else to take it, or in my case, because I play it solo, I don't want the AI to take it. Um, the thing is, when you want the wonders, you have to make sure you have the right things around it. So you have to have the right colors of buildings, of areas around you, or you have to have it next to the water or next to a road. And you can only build things next to certain things. Like you can only put things next to it. You need to have roads in order to connect things, or you need to have these little monuments so that you can connect more roads in other areas. I really like this game. I think it's very clever. Just the way the tile laying goes, but also the monument part of it. So I really like World Wonders. It was an instant hit for me. It quickly is moving up my overall solo gaming list. So that's World Wonders.
Hmm.
You might like that one. There might be a little too much going on, but
Yeah.
you might like it.
It's a pretty box.
It is. Yeah. The artwork on this box is just gorgeous. And I love the 3D wonders that are in there, and it has some really cool ones. Petra's in there, which we were just watching
Yes,
about the
we
other day.
were.
All right.
All right, my
Ooh,
number
top two.
My number two is a game that I learned this year.
Oh,
What?
I know it is. I know what our top two are. They don't though.
My
They
number
don't know.
two is a game that I learned this year, and it's about going between Tokyo and Kyoto. And when Ian talks about it, I hate that game. But when I talk about it, it's one of my favorite games I played. Let's go to Japan.
I
Ian's
think that's
already.
how it works. But
Oh.
it's either your favorite. No, I knew this was gonna be in our top.
It's heavy.
It's really heavy.
I do like this game, and it's fun. That's all I have to say about it.
It was something a little different for
talked.
you.
Yeah, it's very different for me. I like the aspect of this because you take your cards and then you pass your card, and that card can come back to you and you can pass it back. And we had one card go back and forth several times.
There was one
Just
card
didn't
that
want
neither
it.
of us wanted, and it just stayed going back and forth the
Yeah.
entire time. We're like,
So sometimes you pass a card back and forth, sometimes you don't, depending on where you are in your travels. So
well, I just thought about that could be a strategy. You could purposely just throw a card you know that the other person's not going to want, and then on the next one you could force them to take something else that's still bad but not as bad. Like you'd be like, you know what? I know what they still have over there, and like, you know what? I'm gonna throw these over here because they're still not great cards, but they're not as bad as that one, and I know they don't want that one because it has gone back and forth 4 times already. I mean, I don't know if that'd be something we would even think about in the middle of the game, but yeah. All right, let's go to Japan. My number two was recently on a five and dime that I did this summer for tile laying games, and I believe it was either number one or number two in my overall polyomino games. Really heavy box. This is Isle of Cats. This is really heavy, but it also has kittens and beasts inside of here.
big box
yeah,
means not a nighttime.
no, not a nighttime. In fact, this is one that I struggle to get to the table right now. I'm hoping to get the big box, for this that organizes it all much better. That makes it only like 3 minutes to set up. I think it is, or 6 minutes to set up instead of
6 minutes to set up a game.
Yeah. For this, that would cut the time drastically. I think it's either the 3 minute big box or the 6 minute big box.
That makes my heart pump just thinking about
We have
it.
several games that take
Oh,
6 minutes.
dear.
Most of our games
Okay.
take 6 minutes. So Isle of Cats, you are trying to attract cats to your boat, and then they're polyomino shaped. Once you place one, you have to place every cat adjacent to that unless you get special cards that allow you to do that differently. You score based on um, your families of cats that are the same color. You're trying to fill as much as your board as possible, but you also are drafting cards. This is one that I play only solo. I do play it on BGA, but I actually prefer this. I actually prefer playing this one solo. I think maybe it's just because I've only played on BGA multiplayer, but I think I actually like this one solo more because I like playing against the sister. The sister is absolutely an amazing opponent, just trying to figure out what I have to do so that the sister doesn't score. So you're trying to check cats to your boats, trying to score points based on that, trying to score points based on different goals. You have to get different cards to help attract cats. I really like this one. This is one of my top. Like I said, it was either one or two. I don't remember on my polyomino games. When I do an overall tile laying game list, it will be on my top 10. I will guarantee it because I do enjoy it that much. And I recently got the boat pack, so I'm really excited to get that to the table at some point because it gives you different boats that you have to fill, so it'll feel like much different. And the Kittens and Beasts expansion is great too, but by itself, I really love this game. So that is Isle of Cats.
And then when you're not playing it, you could just take the lid off and you could let our kitten just lay in there.
It actually says that inside. I think this is the one. This is the one, right?
I don't know.
Is this the one? Yes. Cat setup. If you have a pet cat, you should place it here while playing Isle of Cats.
Huh.
It actually gives you a target for your cat to sit on, which I think is very cute. This is the same company as Race to the Raft.
Oh.
And we have that small box, and we have that small box game in there, and they just kickstarted that big one recently that had the card dancing.
Oh.
Which I backed at $1 so I can save up for it.
Okay.
Yep. All right, on to our number ones.
My number one is one of my favorite games. I think I've talked about it, I don't know, once or twice before in a thingy thing. And it's from one of my favorite game board creators. And where is it?
She's trying to be sly, but I know where number one is.
Then what is it?
Because
it's your number
it is
one.
also my number one, which I think she's going to be a little surprised that they'd hit my number one.
This is your number one.
This is my number one.
Creature Comforts by Kids.
Love this
Table
game.
Board Games.
Absolutely love this game.
This is such a great game. It's one of my first games that I learned for, what's it called?
A worker placement, resource management, dice play. I mean, yeah, it had a lot of stuff going on in
it. But it's not overwhelming going on, if I could say.
Yeah.
There are still some things that you need to keep track of. You need to, the little houses on your sideboard. You need to make sure that you use those.
This is the game that almost didn't make our ranking lists because we own the Kickstarter Deluxe version. So in BGG, I have it under Kickstarter Deluxe. So when I brought up owned games that had at least 50 rankings, this didn't come up. It wasn't until I went onto BG Stats just to double check that I saw, oh, this is in this grouping because everything is rated under the base game, not the Kickstarter version. So this game almost did not make our list. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be both our number ones, isn't it? And I knew it was going to be Stacey's number one. I knew Let's Go to Japan was going to be your number two.
You said earlier you thought that Let's Go to Japan was going to be my number
It
one.
was until this was added.
Oh,
it was until this, and then I think she's a little surprised that this was my number one.
Yes, I am.
When I sat down to think about it, I love Isle of Cats. I love World Wonders. And on any day, my top four: Creature Comforts, Isle of Cats, World Wonders, Let's Go to Japan. I think they could have. Those top four could really be in any order.
Depends on your mood.
But as I sat and thought about it today, and I actually just organized my version, my non-Kickstarter version at school, because KTBG was nice enough to send us the organizer, the insert for it. I sat and was thinking about it when I was ranking it against those other three games, and the aspect of the family dice where you roll the 2 dice and then you have to place your 4 animal meeples before you roll the 4 village dice. I just love that unknown aspect of, okay, I really need these 4 things. I have these 2 dice, so I think I should be guaranteed to at least get these 2. Like you almost have to decide, okay, what 2 things do I really want? And then the other 2 things, like, okay, hopefully I can get those as well. And then the village dice roll, and you're like, oh, I can't get that. But then you're placing your workers. Then um you're getting your resources so you can make your improvements, which I love the improvements, or your cards. And then I love the visitor because it just adds a little extra bonus every single round. Just makes that round a little different. Like it just makes that round different because you might have something at the beginning of the round, something during the round, something in the round.
I like the changing of the seasons and how
Yeah.
things aren't available during some
Yeah,
seasons,
yeah.
but they're available during other seasons.
So
So
you
you have to collect and store
right.
certain things so that you can have them available.
So you play through 3 seasons. What you're trying to do is you are trying to uh my brain just went. What are you trying to do? You're trying to prepare for winter. So you're moving through spring, summer, and fall. And I think it's 3 rounds of spring, 3 rounds of summer, and 2 rounds of fall. And in spring, you have no mushrooms. One of them you have no
Which is
mushrooms.
fine with me.
One of them you have no mushrooms. One of them you have no wool, and one of them you have no apples. I believe it is. So yeah, that whole like, okay, I'd really like to make this, but I can't make that without the, and okay, I can't get that. So how can I get that? And then sometimes you can go and trade, which we don't do a whole lot of the trading. We usually work our way around it. And just I love also the kind of how some of the comforts bounce off of other comforts.
You have the ice skates and the muffler
or the socks
bonus.
and if you get I think it's the like the chair and the blanket, or if you have certain food, or then you can also store things. So you have like the bookshelf, you can put books on there, and then the books are worth more points than if you just have them at the end of the game. Or in the pantry, if you have one of everything, or pairs of things on different. Yeah, the piggy bank, you can put money on there. It's worth more on there than it is just at the end of the game. Just I love everything about this game. It is such a cozy game, and it's one that we love playing together. So I think that's a big part of it, is one that we can play together that does have a little bit more going on, but Stacey still really enjoys it.
It takes me sometimes when we first start playing. It takes me a second to get in the mindset of getting ready for it. But we now in our routine of I turn the little thing and then I flip the cards
at the end at the end of each round you have to do upkeep, and so you have to flip the 4 cards in the valley, or you have the forest in the valley, which are, I don't remember what the overall area is called. I do like how like each season the background on the season looks like that season. Like in the spring, everything is kind of budding. In the summer, everything is completely in full bloom. In the fall, everything's kind of dead. And it's really cool just to watch it go. And then when you get the last one, you can see the winter behind it, and everything's just completely dead. It's really cool. Yeah. So when we do that, we kind of like, okay, I'll flip these. Stacey does that. Stacey does that. I do this. So we kind of got this nice little routine when we're playing. Yeah, it's like I said, when I was really thinking about the games, and I think part of it is just it's a game we play together, and so I do really enjoy playing games together. As much as I love playing solo games, I do love playing this. But this one, there's a lot going on. There's a lot I really enjoy. And like I said, the the whole idea of you place your workers after you've rolled 2 dice, but there's 6 total dice that are going to be rolled, and those first 2 dice are basically asymmetric, because I'm rolling 2 dice that are my family dice. Stacey's rolling 2 that are her family dice, and then whoever is the first player that round, they roll the 4 village dice, and you put all 6 dice up there. So yeah, creature comforts, absolute hit. Absolutely love this game. It's a wonderful game. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. Do you?
The cards are adorable.
The artwork is amazing. I mean, as you can tell by the cover, the artwork is absolutely amazing.
Very whimsical. Very, brings the characters to life.
The little animeeples are great.
Oh, I've never seen before.
Oh, So yeah,
Yeah. So that's it. That was my number one.
that was both of our number one. So hey, number one for both of us, Creature Comforts from Kids Table Board Gaming or KTBG. That's a wrap for this one.
This
If you
this one that you'll see of me.
at least in this grouping, we are going to start some other ones. We are going to go through and do. We kind of liked doing this whole rating thing or weight complexity thing. So we're going to go do a series of these based on the ranking. So, or based on the rating. So I think I think I figured it out. I printed a bunch out the other day. I think we're going to start at like 6.0 to 6.5 or something, or maybe 6 to 7, and then 7 to 7.5, 7.5 to 8. And we're going to do those rankings. So it's kind of a fun little list. I know those rankings and the complexity and all those things on BGG. They're very
They go with
subjective. They're very subjective. But if we're giving our list of games that are within that ranking on there, it's really just what favorite games we have within that list. And so we're gonna do that, and we will have. I mean, before we know it, we'll have our September or our October five and dime, because that'll be
gosh.
yeah.
This month has gone by so fast.
2 weeks left. That's it. Did we get disconnected? We may have gotten disconnected here.
Uh-oh.
It said oh, now it says it's
I
okay.
don't think so.
And then we do have some more five and dimes that we're going to be doing. We're going to start doing some based on different mechanics and different things at some point, and we are going to at some point I'd like to do a top 50 overall, just our top 50 games of all time, and then kind of do it at the same time every year, so you can kind of see how it changes. Yes. Well, every game we've played, even ones we don't own that we've played from board game. Every game we've played on the tabletop. I think I know what your announcement's going to be, but go for it.
Starting in 2 weeks.
Nope.
No,
this week.
Next week.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, join us on Wednesday. We are going to be doing a live playthrough of a game. So every Wednesday, every other Wednesday, we are going to have Wednesdays with the Willses. That's us.
We're going to play 1 to 3 games.
We're going to play a couple games. We're going to have some fun. You'll get to see how we help each other and how we have
just
fun.
Enjoy our time together playing. So yeah, we'll set up right here. We'll probably have a down camera and another camera forward, just so you can join us and chat with us if you want. We'll get that scheduled so you can see when it's going to be. Probably about the same time, probably about 5:30 Mountain Time.
If anybody wants to be on my team to help me along, I would greatly appreciate that as well.
But yeah, so we'll get that scheduled and get the thumbnail up, and I don't know. I'm thinking maybe this company might be a good start. We've got a couple of light ones in the closet, or maybe something like that might be. We've got a couple of companies where we have some good games. It'll be our lighter stuff.
Oh, Grandpa
Backs would be good. We've got some good AEG flat out, KTBG.
A lot of city editions of Ticket to Ride.
Oh yeah, we could do some city editions of Ticket to Ride. But yeah, there's lots of
city game night.
So we'll have some themes, or we'll just each pick a couple games and play some games. So
who doesn't love a guess who evening?
Join us this Wednesday for some live playthrough and chat, and hopefully we'll get some people to join us. If you have any ideas or any likes, comments on any of these games that we've mentioned, please let us know. If you have any other games in this range that you'd like to suggest based on our lists, let us know as well. Once again, this has been Where There's a Will, There's a Play. I screwed that up. If you like this video and want to see more, please hit that subscribe button up above. And if you want to see the rest of our five and dimes, you can follow that link. Once again, this has been Where There's a Will,
There's a Play.
My name's Ian.
I'm Stacey.